Okay, folks, welcome back. I'd say a little bit of a later start, but that's not necessarily true. I just did some stuff that wasn't filmed because it took me a lot less time to do it that way. Anyhow, so we primed these vehicles here, which are 4 Shermans and the 2 Japanese vehicles. And the Shermans are pretty much good to go. They're going to have to... Jeez, these things are dirty. They're going to have to just get washed and then set overnight. And while that's happening, we are going to do the camouflage on the 2 Japanese vehicles. Or attempt to do the camouflage on the 2 Japanese vehicles. This is the Honu and a Hago. And then the 4-pack of Shermans over here. Actually, if I do the camouflage on the Japanese tanks first and wash them last, I should be able to still wash them. Of course, I'm not ready to start searching for the Japanese stuff, but hey, I can. This is the Japanese set that I have here from Ammo MIG. Airbrush color from Brush and Airbrush. Yeah, I'm going to be hating life. The fact that it's not really for hand painting. I believe the other Hago, I used the Vallejo conversion sets. I did the Vallejo conversion. So we already have put the wrong one in here. We already have the khaki, which is what they're overall sprayed in. All the drab base doesn't go in there. That was what the Americans had. We've got medium brown, dark earth. And blue green, although I don't know where they think this is blue. There's nothing about this green that has blue in it. And then yellow, which honestly could be any yellow. Not like it's some official yellow. Now, I was watching a video today. I don't know if it's true or not. But the yellow was only done through 1942. So this guy is not going to have the yellow stripe on it. The Hago will. So we need to put these 3 colors on each one of these. So I'm going to see what I can come up with here on the internet that tickles my funny bone here. So the first place I'm going to check is Scalemates. And I'm going to do a search for Honi and see if there's a model of a Honi. Okay, it looks like Tamiya makes one. Okay, and there's 4 options here. And here's download the instructions. Beautiful Tamiya instructions. Earth, dark green, dark red, brown. Well, we're going to use these colors. So earth is what it is overall. So just kind of vague. It doesn't really tell you. Type 1 Honi, Type 1 self-propelled 75mm gun tanks, which were introduced during the later stages of World War II. We usually painted a unique 3-tone cloud camouflage pattern. The open-top crew compartment interior was painted in a khaki color. Well, it's already done there. Which is believed could also be the base hull color. The cloud camouflage of dark green and red-brown was then applied over it in patterns that matched local battlefield environments. This camouflage pattern usually also extended to the wheels as well, but some vehicles may have been painted in overall khaki. Well, and it's actually a nice-looking color. All right, what I'm going to use this kind of as a... I'm going to save that picture. Okay, I'm going to go back to ScaleMate, see what other options there are. I really like Tamiya models. I just don't like their painting suggestions. They're pretty lame. Well, here's one that comes with a little cute little sidecar. See if it's exactly the same instructions for the painting. It is. Okay. Still Tamiya kit. One from Fujimi 176 scale. Nothing there. But this one. Download these instructions. The word Honi is a code and have no meaning as a word. However, this kind of name is not used at random. Well, here's a top view of one. So I'm going to save that picture. Okay. And that's still a Tamiya one. This is just somebody's rendition. Here's another one. This one has the tank enclosure. Okay. I think I have enough to go with here. So the camouflage doesn't go into the crew compartment, even from above. All right, so which one of these two colors is lighter? It looks like we have... I'm going to do the green first, then the dark red brown. All right. Happy Friday, folks. Unless you have to work today. Unless you're still at work. Okay, so it looks like the red-brown is more like the stripes. Well, we're going to wing this. Remember, this is going to look like a melted asshole. Okay? It's not going to look great. Let's not use this one. Let's use one that... I have tons of these. This is unfortunately super watery. And it's too thin to begin with. That's all right. We'll make it work. Now all this is going to get a wash on top of it, so if you're like, man, this looks awfully bright, we're in good hands. I'm probably going to darken that quite a bit, but Joe Wood, what's up, man? We're painting a Japanese tank. That's something you don't hear very often. And unfortunately, this isn't going to look like it's going to turn out pretty well, but it will. We got online a little bit later than we normally do, but I've been working on this stuff for a while. I actually got a little bit of a headache. I was airbrushing out there. And then I had to take a break. Why is this dark? What's going on here? That's weird. I've never seen that happen before. Yeah, I really like this paint for airbrushing. For brush painting, not so much. Because it's just too damn watery. If I hadn't done a bunch of tanks before, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these stripes all the way across, and the red brown I'm going to do splotches on it. If I hadn't done hundreds of vehicles, I'd be like, man, this isn't going to turn out well, or this isn't going to turn out how I envision it. Like, yeah, we got this. So yeah, you don't hear that very often. People working on Japanese tanks. Well, actually, technically, this isn't a Japanese tank. This is a self-propelled gun. Actually, one of the few weapons that could actually do something to a Sherman. And we're going to put this in a fictitious island. It's not going to be a certain island. It's going to be a fictitious campaign. Not silly, but fictitious. Silly would be just that, silly. And I specifically don't want to airbrush this because I want it to look like it's hand painted. Now I have painted a small Hago before, relatively recently, but I didn't have these paints yet. So I used the Vallejo equivalent, and I think it turned out pretty well. And I hope I don't regret actually getting these paints because I don't really like them how watery they are. Now the base color is done with the watery color, but it's airbrushed. It'll turn out just fine. I've got. Okay. So that unfortunately is going to have to dry about a week. Not really, but. All right, let's look at Mr. Hago. Now, let's pull out the one I already have here because I don't want the camouflage to be exactly the same, like they got painted at the same time. It's going to have a yellow stripe across it. Where's the little Huggy go? So I hope I don't like this better than, well, I could just repaint it and just use the equivalent colors. This turned out really well, other than the model is just garbage. Other than the model is garbage. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It's like it's actually I did this before we were doing it doesn't have a wash on, I don't think. Anyways, it looks pretty good. It's not completely complete, but all right, let's look at the Hago here. Hago tank scale mates. Images. God, these things are cute. Let's get back here where there's the inspirational drawings. There we go. Burma Campaign Hago, September 44. This pattern of beige and blue-green was not unusual as high contrast visual effects were sought for. Looks like this one doesn't have a yellow on it. I could always add it on if I want to. Okay, let's go with this one. This has a lot of green on it, or a fair amount of green on it. It doesn't have to be exact. This is just for inspiration. And it's okay that this is actually really heavy, because when we go and put the wash, it's going to thin this out quite a bit. And what I like to do anyways is I like to come back and dry brush lightly the base color on top of all these camouflage colors so it looks like it's faded. You know, like the corners and stuff like that have been like scuffed up. So whatever base color I'm using, I like to use that as a dry brush stage over it. I mean, on top of the weathering colors, but don't judge it. It doesn't look, it looks, you know, childish at this point. Okay. Let's do the same thing with this. Where's the cute little bastard? Ineffective, but cute. Well, it's better than not having a tank. Okay. And we've got some across the back here, so we won't do it on this one. All right. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'll make these areas a little bit wider. Looks a little bit like Green Army Man. I may not be able to wash these today. I may have to wait till in the morning. As a matter of fact, I'm almost certain I'm going to have to wait till in the morning. Okay, we're going to sit this guy off to the side, use an example. I don't want it to look exactly the same as it. I'm going to move these off to the side. I want this green to dry a little bit before I put the red brown. Because some of the red brown will be over the green, and I don't want it can't be like wet. Then you'll have the colors mingle with each other. All right, so Shermans. These are the Shermans that we added all the little Mr. Clean earrings to by way of the belt loops, the little loops there for detail. These are all four of these are gonna get a once over. They were prime black. I did a little bit of modulation on them, nothing crazy. Modulation just in one color. So we're going to grab Strong Tone. We could probably use this side over here and be all right. And cover these. Now, we'll still be on in the morning. I mean, unless I oversleep or something like that. Oh, I fucked up. I should have used the one that was already opened. All right, let's... I like to kill some of these bottles. Got too many bottles open. Now there's all kinds of issues that are wrong with this thing. For example, this is a rescue tank, meaning I got it from somebody that basically was not using it at all, and it was missing some like road wheels here. So I replaced it with another Sherman road wheel, but it's a 1/72nd scale road wheel, not a 1/76th. So you got one reel that's small, 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 large, small. So, you know, it was just a field modification that they did. I don't know what the backstory is on it, but this is going to look a lot better than how it was before. And it's certainly a lot better than not building it because it doesn't have the accurate something or another. And the same thing here. We've got a wheel that was missing here, so this one's a 1/72nd scale road wheel, so it's a little larger than the 170, because this is actually a 1/76 scale tank. Yeah, that might still be a little too dry. That's not a big deal. We want to do the Shermans anyways. That keep me from getting distracted and doing Japanese vehicles if they're not ready. Okay, there's one hole. And do the other M4A1. This one has the added tracks. I was reading my book I was listening to the book while I was airbrushing out there. The book that's on the trilogy by Atkinson. And in that trilogy, I'm in the middle book, the one's talking about invading Salerno. I caught something in there that said that it was mandated all the U.S. vehicles needed to have that had a star had to have a circle around the star. That's what I've said. I've said before I even read that. I said it seems to me that all the stars with circles around them are in Italy, like this. Sure seems that way from the photographic evidence. And sure enough, I encountered that comment in the book. Now, I'm not a night owl, so for me, if this paint isn't dry when I'm done with this, then we'll just have to do that part on the Japanese vehicles in the morning. But I won't be staying up till like midnight or anything like that doing this, because that's going to compromise me waking up tomorrow. Okay, 2 holes down. All right, here's the 2 armor fast holes, which we've spruced up by adding a ball mount machine gun, some sandbags on the front, and added a little gap between this armor plate and its side skirts, so it's not all molded together in one piece, which looks ridiculous. Don't really need to wash over the sandbags. The sandbags will be painted a different color. Oh, one of these was lower. Yeah, that's the one we need to. You need to kill that one. This stuff's a pain in the ass to get off your fingers unless you have hand sanitizer. In which case it's a bloody breeze. And some people would say, well, this is a war game model. Why bother adding all these extra details to them? First of all, it's fun. And second of all, it gives them a lot of personality. Nobody's going to play a tank that's like boring to move around. What happened? You showed up, you threw a grenade and left. Man, how about that survivor on that airplane? Holy shit, I wouldn't fly again. It had to be horrific. I need to get some more purple drink, which I found out is actually a name for a drug. Like, no, it's just It's just purple crystal light, that's all. It's not Robitussin with acid or something, I don't know. I got the house full of liquor, I don't have any of that stuff. Nope, it's pretty soon it's going to be time to figure out what we're going to name these guys, which is one of my favorite parts. I love doing that. So we'll have a regular show this weekend. Next weekend, I'm going to be out of town on Saturday. So I might still be able to do a shorter length Saturday show. I gotta find out what time that show opens up in Plant City. Might be like at 10, which means I gotta get out of here by like 7:30. I'd rather get there when it opens and then leave relatively soon rather than show up late. And all it is a show with vendors that have models and stuff like that. I mean, they've got like competitions and stuff too, but I'm not interested in that baloney. No baloney for me, thank you. All right, I'm going to... I guess I'm one short. One of these has a post, right? This one. Okay, we don't need one for that. This is the rescue. Oh, Snapdragon. Just hold it by the barrel. This isn't the final washing or anything like that. This is just adds a little bit of irregularity to the color. I don't like using the M word. What, merde? No. Modulation. Makes it sound like it's something else. Okay, this is the other M4A1 turret. Enhanced with the lifting hooks. That's what I hate about this hobby. It just consumes too much time. Next thing you know, like 2 hours have gone by. I'm like, dude, I just sat down. Yeah, we're definitely going to put the red brown in the morning. All right, now let's see if we can grab this somewhere that's... Oh, that's not good. We'll have to fix that in the morning. 2 more. Yeah, so we'll stop after we do the wash on here. And we'll see you guys in the morning. What we're going to do is after that, we're going to take this color I may end up doing the other olive drab because this one's super watery. Because this is an Ammo Mig. Ammo Mig makes good colors, but they are super watery to hand paint. This is the one that had the dent on the roof that we patched it up some. I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. Okay, and then the last one, this one actually has a peg. Okay, so that's washed. Okay, I think we're in luck. I think I can do the red brown. I think I can do the red brown. Then we'll stop. You want to make sure that the paint is on there well before you add this wash to it, because just by going over it is going to water some of that stuff down. So that's what we'll do in the morning on this. Let's get that red brown out here. Fix that in the morning. It's not a big deal. Man, these things look drab. Literally. All right, I actually like that color I was using, that paintbrush I was using. Although could use one that's a little bit different shape. Let's make sure this is mixed well. I don't know if you can hear that. This stuff is very, very watery. But it's really handy to do with the with the airbrush. Man, I got used to picking these things up. They don't weigh anything. And the color differentiation is not very noticeable. If I don't like how this turns out, I'll just use the Vallejo equivalents, which is what I did on the other one. Again, I'll admit, this looks pretty damn childish, the way this is done. once we do the wash and we dry brush over that wash, I'm not going to have those two camouflages actually touch. Now this one, we're going with a more stripe next to it. All right, so this is where we're gonna stop with this thing, and we'll pick this back up in the morning and go from there. All right, folks, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys.